Before we start, I just want to make sure that your guys' AC system is completely evacuated. I went to a shop just right down the road from my house, and they only charged me $45 to get the system depleted completely. It only took about 45 minutes. All right, guys, sorry, I forgot to hit record on the start of this video, but I'm replacing the AC pump, or compressor, whatever you want to call it, in my 2012 Volkswagen TSI 2.0 turbo Beetle. But between the Passat, Jetta, Golf, even the Audis, it's all the same thing, all the same engine. This is a Gen 6. I believe it works for a Gen 7 as well. 2012 up to 2016 or 17, I believe. Okay, the reason that I'm replacing the compressor is because this solenoid right here failed. It will blow hot air and not cold air. And you could save time and money by just replacing this solenoid while it's in the car. I think it's like a $45 part. I'll link that in the description, as well as the new compressor that I bought. You can buy this off Amazon, and I bought the entire compressor on a third-party website. I can't remember what it's called. Links will be in the description, so don't worry. To take this off, it's relatively pretty easy. You just got 3 bolts. This one is kind of a pain to get to, but it's not horrible. The only hard part is taking the alternator off. First step is to chock the wheels. I jacked it up on that control arm brace right there. So if you're from the front of the car, there's your tire to that brace right there, and I put jack stands under the other side of the brace. Put jack stands on both sides and you should be good to go. Now for this part, I recommend having 2 people, and that's to take off the belt. So the tensioner is right here. It's also a 17, by the way. And the best way I found to do it is to go underneath of the car, and I'll show a clip of that. If you're underneath the car, you would push, but if you try to do it when you're above, you just pull up on it. These 4 bolts to the alternator and the 3 bolt AC compressor are all half inch. There are 4 bolts to the alternator. You can see one there, and then there are 2 down below right there. There's one, so you can barely see the head right there. That one is kind of tricky to get to. I'll show you how to get to it right now. You're going to use the wrench in this bend right here, so backwards from how you normally use the bend. Like that. And just break it loose from there. I got it broke loose a little bit. Then you take it off the rest of the way doing that. It does take a while to do it that way, just because you can't really get that big of range of motion with a wrench, and you have to take it on and off and on and off. Now the other 3 bolts are very easy to get to. Using a swivel ratchet like this works perfect, and you will need a swivel for the back side ground strap and for the bottom side of the AC compressor. So I'll show you how to get these out really quick. Super easy. All you gotta do, easy, just pop it off. Do that for the rest of the 3. And then to get the electrical off, just flip it like this to show you out of the car. This clip's super easy. All you do is get a pick and you just pry it out. I'll show you that when we go down below. And this was a pain in the butt. And they're like this. I tried using a wrench and a normal ratchet and it wouldn't work. You need a swivel ratchet. And I went and picked this up from Harbor Freight. I think it was like $16 or $18. And you need this swivel because to get in there, I'll turn it again so it makes it easier on you guys. I believe I was at this angle, like this, because there's no room down here when it's facing like this. It kind of really sucks. So that's how I got the alternator out. And then once you take this off and that clip, you have all the bolts out, then you're kind of fighting it back and forth to get it out. And I'll show you how I put it back in. This is the electrical for the alternator. I'll kind of just shove it out of the way for now. And then you will see 2 torque style, or T. It is just a regular T45, what I used. And those, they come out pretty easy. Once you break them loose, you kind of just screw them out as is. And that's it for the connections on the AC and the compressor. And then you will have 1 bolt on the top side right here. And the bolts for these are also just a half. It could be 13, I don't know, I didn't try 13, just half worked perfect. So once you get that one out, once you get under the car, the compressor's right here. So to start, we will take off this bolt right there. And I already got all these loose. For this one, I just took a wrench like this and backed it off, super easy. And then there's one more right there. That one is kind of tricky. So I will show you how to get these clips off now. So what you do is you just take a pick, or a small screwdriver would work. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can either put it in the middle right there and then just rotate it. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand. and you just push and it comes out just like that. Okay, and the other way is to use this tab up here. And you just put it in and pry it forward a little bit, and then use your other finger to push on it, like that. And that came off the easiest it's ever been. Normally, I like the first way more, but hey. For this last bolt, you're going to need a 1/2 inch deep socket with a swivel head, because getting it in here is really a pain. Okay, once you get the clips out of the way, once again, this is gonna be hard to do with one hand, but I'll try my best. So you gotta kind of finagle this up here, just like that. Well, you can see how I got it up there. Might need 2 hands to be able to put it on the bolt itself. You see how I got it up there? And I'll take this out and show you guys what it looks like when it's off. This deep socket, you can only take it out with the ratchet so far because it hits the fan. So what I did is I got it out just enough to where I can move it by hand. So you can either get it this way, or when you're up there, you can move it like this with your fingers and rotate it like that. Just keep going back and forth. This is how I did it. You just squeeze with your fingers and you rotate it. All right, guys, so I hope you can see this all right. It looks like we gotta take out one more clip. And this one is up top, so. Okay, guys, so this is what you don't want to happen. When you pry on it, it just popped right out, broke. So it slides on, it just doesn't latch. So I'll probably end up putting a zip tie from here to here and then here to here or something. I'll show you when I do that. So now we pull that through. Now the compressor should just be hanging here. Right, and this is where you grab a screwdriver that you don't care about. It's separated a little bit, but it ain't coming out all the way. All right, there we go. This one dropped all the way down. Easy. I got it separated quite a bit. I took it out down here. It would most likely be 9 times easier taking these hoses off when it is still mounted. When I get this mounted up, I'll show you what it looks like. It's probably a lot easier to take these off when it's still in the car. Okay, so right off the bat, everything looks the same. Just this one spins a lot more freely. This one is pretty tight, mostly because it's probably just brand new, hasn't been used yet. To take these off, it's just a 6 mil Allen. The only difference I see between these is right here. So we have this nut that is at a 45 degree, and this nut is straight up and down. Other than that, it all looks the same. To take these caps off, looks like it's just a 6 mil Allen. Sorry, wiggle it up and down. Grab you some small needle nose, bottom side, just wiggle it up and down. This does come pre-oiled, as you can tell. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna set these back in here real quick till I get it up in there. So this is the solenoid that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. This is what went bad originally. This piece went bad. So this is the original pump. This solenoid failed, and what happened is the AC compressor is always on this. It does not have a clutch, so it's always on. This solenoid tells the compressor to send the Freon through the system. So this is faulty, didn't work. It was not telling this to send the Freon through the system, so I never had cold AC. Now, I could have just replaced this and it would have saved me all this time, you know? But this compressor was already loud and kind of noisy, so I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'll just replace the whole thing now. Obviously, this only goes in one way, so we're gonna do it just exactly how we took it off, just opposite. So we're gonna start with this hose right here. So just pull this out. So as I'm putting this back in, I'm realizing that it is probably a lot easier to just put it up there in the first place and then get the hoses all situated. But you know, I'm making these mistakes so you guys don't have to. Okay, so I just got this one started to where it ain't gonna come out. I'll take you guys up top so you can see the rest of the install. I'm also gonna throw this top one And here, you kind of have to slide it through the fans into the hole right here. And here, we have to rock it forward. It's in there, very loose. That does not matter just yet. I'm going to pull this plug. So once you got this in place, get it lined up with that pin. So that's all lined up. Gonna take this bolt. All right, guys, and then for that clip that was broken, all I did was I had to lock 2 zip ties in there because the ones I had weren't long enough. And I put it on the bottom of that clip up to the top of there, and it's stuck there pretty good. I don't think it's gonna move, but obviously this isn't necessarily very OEM. So I'll probably order a clip and just splice the lines or splice the wires. That way it's new again and OEM, because I'm not gonna keep it like this for long. But that's just a quick fix for now. Okay, so to put it in, kind of just gotta make it work. All right, so I pulled up on this hose and tilted it back. It just dropped into place. Okay, so to put the belt back on, the tensioner is this bolt. It's a 17. Okay, so this is a little diagram I made for the way the belt is routed. The tensioner, I'll shine the light on the tensioner. That is the tensioner. And to loosen it, if the wrench is on there like this, you want to pull up like that, and it'll loosen it. You're definitely going to need 2 people for this. I just had my girlfriend help me put it on. Taking it off is definitely way easier than putting it back on. So I'll go down below. It's pretty hard to see, but that rusted bolt right there, that's the tensioner. So all you do is you put the wrench on it from down here and you push up. It is a lot easier coming down here and pushing up on that wrench than it is to be up there and pulling it. So the way I did it is I put it, so if this is the compressor right here, what I did is I went through this gap right here between this turbo outlet pipe to the intercooler. I went in between there, put my hand up there and pushed it. That's the best way I can do it. Alright guys, now to charge the system up, it's very easy. All you gotta do is take this cap off right here, then take whatever brand of Freon you'd like. They're all gonna come with a quick connect like this. All you do is you hold it with your fingers like this, and you just push down with your thumb to activate that quick connect. Then you just put it over that port. Should hear it click, you're good to go. So I talked to you just now with the engine off because it'd be hard for you to hear with the engine on. So once you get it hooked up like this, now before you start to fill it up, you're gonna wanna shake it up. Shake it up for a good minute or 2. And then as the car is running and the AC is on, when you pull the trigger, you're gonna turn it upside down, horizontal, upside down, horizontal, upside down, horizontal, and just keep doing that at intervals probably about like that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car on with the AC on full blast. Did you hear it click on? That's exactly what we wanted. Issue is definitely fixed now. See, it says we're at low because it kicked on. And turn it upside down, give her some more Freon. Still says we're low. Yep, it is taking all of it. That is perfect. All right, guys, since this is in a Volkswagen, if you guys know anything about Volkswagens, whenever you disconnect the battery, a bunch of dash lights come on. So this steering wheel right here is the steering angle sensor. All you gotta do, max out the wheel one way. See, there, it just went away. All we do is calibrate that steering angle sensor, and the rest of the angles, or the rest of the lights came off with it. The check engine light was there previously. I will show you how to diagnose that issue and then have a temporary fix with a turbo clip, and then eventually I will replace the turbo, and I'll show you guys that as well. So there we go, guys. AC is blowing ice cold, and we need it because in Nebraska, 87 degrees, humidity is crazy, so it feels way hotter than 87. Well, that's it, guys. AC is blowing ice cold. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.